All right, welcome, Patrick. And it looks like Michelle's here.
Hey there.
Hold on, Michelle. I'm going to get my phone turned off here. All right, Michelle, turn your video on so we can see your face. We're live here. We're live on the Membercast from Impact Studios. Patrick, you got your microphone on?
I do.
All
I
right,
always got my
Michelle.
microphone on. Come on, man.
Michelle, turn on that microphone and let's get your face on here. Hey,
I
everybody.
am. I'm
We're
working on
here
it.
with the Impact Studios, our member cast for all things Rotary membership unplugged. I'm Todd Shepard, and I'm here with Patrick and Michelle. I promise you she's here. We just don't see her video. But she's here, and I saw her earlier, and she's smiling real big, and we'll get a chance to speak with her. Patrick, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
I'm doing excellent. Michelle, how's your day going? Little technical issue? Well, that's okay. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about membership here
Hmm.
and membership and how to grow your membership in Rotary. Last week, we discussed the value of adding members and helping to grow and to share that story and everything. And I kind of thought this week that we might talk a little bit about how we share those stories and maybe a little bit about social media and such.
Sounds fantastic. Whatever you want to talk about, Todd, I'm here.
Well,
I got
let's
my
hear it.
drinks. I'm ready to roll. And now
So,
Michelle's coming back on, so we're gonna have a good time.
well, I know, and we need her because she's the one of the gurus on social media.
Darn right.
Well,
Uh,
except when my camera doesn't work.
except for yeah.
It it was working. I don't know what happened.
That's okay. We just needed it for the, kind of bring up the scenery here with me and Todd,
I would think so. I think
Mm.
so a lot. So
So
social media, I love to talk about social media. I'm on a lot of different social media areas and we talk about it a little bit to different clubs. And have you've been a membership chair for your district, right, Patrick?
yeah, yeah, sure have.
You talk about social media with any of your clubs?
Well, I mean, I think social media, and the bigger umbrella of PI is membership. I mean, it just is membership. So if you're doing social media, that's going to help your public image. It's going to increase your membership. The problem that we have is we do it too inconsistent. I
What do
mean,
you mean
I
by that?
see I see clubs, they'll take pictures of the couple projects that they do, and then when they realize that they're not, we're not doing enough on social media, then all of a sudden it'll be take pictures of our speakers, or then that's not enough. So then they'll take pictures of the big checks, and that's not what we do as Rotarians. We're so much more than what our clubs do. We're what our Rotarians do. So I think that we have to harness that a little bit better. But yeah, we just have to get better at it and consistent.
I think that sometimes when I talk to clubs about and the club leadership about social media, I sometimes get a little pushback. They're like, oh, particularly since some of the clubs do have some older members, and I hear things like, oh, we're older, we don't use social media, we don't, we don't really need that. And the answer that I give to that is I sometimes say, hey, I think that's kind of an excuse because social media has been around a whole lot longer than what people give it credit for. People that are in their 60s and 70s were in their 30s and 40s when we were starting this big wave of social media and internet use and all the fun things that are there. So uh, these people that they call millennials, they talk of, oh, we're the millennials or whatever, and it's just overused word. Need to remember they were that age. when they brought it to us. So that, see, people in their 60s and 70s are the ones that brought this social media, this whole gift of fun to the world, and the fact that anyone might want to use that as an excuse for not embracing it, I'm not sure if, you know.
I don't know. I mean, I wish the social media sometimes was hasn't been around so long because I've looked back on my posts. You know, how you get that stuff. This happened 15 years ago, and you're like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of wish that it wasn't, you know, the arc of the mines and you know, storage was not that good, but we're there, and that's what we're doing. And frankly, I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, I was just on with a club that was since 1922 is when the club opened, Todd. 1922. I've got like
1922.
documents and pictures and stuff like that. It's gonna be incredible, but you know, there nearly isn't enough documentation on that club that started in 1922. And what did they do during the Great Depression? What did they do
Oh,
for
wow.
Project? What did they do in World War II? What did they do during the civil rights movement? What did these people do? Well, the good part about social media is you're going to be able to see what those clubs have done. It's history and it lasts forever. And you know, it's a real important. If they don't just have to think that it's out there for public image, it's out there to record history of what you and your clubs have done for future generations down 100 years from now. Rotarians in that club are going to be looking back and they'll have a full documentation of what the clubs did and how the communities looked at them and the whole nine yards. So I think that we need to start talking about it not just so much as recruitment tools or anything like that, because it is, don't get me wrong, but they owe it to themselves to put the history of their club in there for future generations to look at, future Rotarians to look at and say, wow, look at the stuff that they used to do. I had no idea that they were involved in that project. Can you imagine that kind of effect that you'd have on people decades and decades down the road? You know,
Wow, and that's a good point. And you know, people think about what we use that term social media. I guess we throw that around pretty loosely
Mhm.
and you know, I mean, let's break that down a little bit. You know, like you're saying, this is how we share our stories, our Rotary stories. And you know, when you share the story, I just know one thing, when I start talking about some of the things that we're doing in our club, or some of the things that I get to be involved in Rotary. I start sharing that story, you know, verbally even, and I think what it has a tendency to do is it has a tendency to other people listen to that and go, you know, I want to be part of that. I want to be involved. How do I get involved with that? You know, that's when you share your story. You say, well, and then that opens up that conversation. Hey, look who joined us.
There's
Ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen,
Look, I
let's
don't know why
welcome
it worked on
Michelle.
in the test.
it's
You're here
okay.
now.
We're setting you up perfectly.
Well, I
Well,
did
we've
catch
been
most of
babbling
that.
on about social media, knowing that you're the guru here, and now we're ready to hear some real talk. Did you hear what we were talking about at all?
I did, where you were talking about keeping a bank of information, of legacy information in the cloud to pass on from club to club. And it really is just that easy. And, you know, sharing documents and all of that. I call it passing the baby, right? Every Rotary year, we have a new set of chair people and board of directors for each of the clubs, and we have to share that information. We're passing the baby on to the next club.
Mhm.
And sometimes some of those documents have been so held onto someone's personal computer in previous formats that we lose that information. So the ability to be able to save that information and have it to pass on is extremely valuable information from a club perspective as they change over their board each and every year.
That's a
Did you
good
see that?
point.
She just came in here and just like said what I said more eloquently. I mean, I'm
Oh,
sitting there
okay.
fumbling around with the words, and Michelle comes in, is like, you know, pass the baby, and she has all this stuff. It was awesome.
She's got these $1,000 words and
I
all
know.
that. That
I
makes a
know. We just
difference.
turn it over to Michelle.
I
Well, I
like what
mean,
you're talking
when you
about.
pass the baby, you're very careful with it, right? You're careful with that information, and you're you know it's fragile, and you're very careful with it. It's a marketing term. I'm sure there are some marketing folks out there that have heard it before, but
I love that. I love that.
Well, you're saving these documents. I know that I had the privilege to be the president of my club. And at one time, I ended up getting some documents, but some of them were like on a thumb drive, or, oh, you need to see such and such. They've got the thumb drive, I think, or someone lost something, or maybe they have hard copies. And we had all these files. And I was from a world where we kept things paperless. And so we really strive to get that, to get our documents put together in a paperless manner, because that's part of what the Rotary action plan, ability to adapt. And if we can keep these files and historical documents paperless, so we can share them. Because one thing I think some clubs have a tendency, lot of clubs maybe have, when you get that new board in there, then you start having board meetings and you start talking about the same stuff. And what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? It's like, didn't we cover that once before? And yeah, but I don't have it written down. Or,
recreating the
such and
wheel.
such is
Yep.
no longer here. And certainly you could look at the bylaws if they've been updated in the last few years. Um, but having documents on what does the membership chair do? What does the president do? What is the secretary's roles? And having that written down, and pass that baby. I like
But if
that.
you're talking about like what social media is, it has become the oral history. Throughout our time here on this continent and on this planet, in different times, oral history has been delivered differently. What you got to drink there? There you go. You're gonna
Oh,
have to check that bottle.
I'm sparkling water
Oh, there you
girl
go.
all the way.
I
I'm
got
not
a
saying
little
what's
cup
in
of
here.
hot tea.
So, but oral history has been done differently. Since we came onto this earth, and it's important. And I really, really want to stress the fact that right now, the way that we're collecting our oral history is through social media. Right
30
now,
second
I
bites
don't
at a time.
yeah, I don't care if there's 5 people watching this or 100 people watching this. We've got 3 really good Rotarians who are awesome at doing this. And when we talk about things that we want to improve and what we want to do, future generations are going to listen to that and say, was it accomplished, or is that a torch that we can pick up and continue? So you really just make sure that they need to just look at it differently. The 60-year-olds and the 70-year-olds that you were talking about, the 50-year-olds, 54, sorry. You start talking about legacy. I mean, what happens if Todd sat down and talked with Michelle? Or we turned it around on Todd, because he's always the one asking questions. We turned it around on Todd and said, Todd, let me ask you a question. What is the single greatest selfless act that you saw in your club that somebody did? That really inspired you to feel the 4-way test or feel our motto, service above self? What did you see that made you want to do that? And then Todd's going to tell me what? He's going to
And
tell
I
me a
tell a
story,
story.
and he's going to talk about that. And future generations are going to look at that, and that might be their story. I watched this really old guy,
Yeah,
back
yeah, okay.
back in 2025, and he was talking about this, and the same thing happened to me. Isn't that cool? So the people that we're talking about that might shy away from social media because they think it's just influencer stuff and it's just to get membership and stuff like this. If you talk to them really about it being their generation and our generation's oral history, I think you would get a lot more people to embrace that. Just my 2 cents.
I think if you think about it, there's ways that you can use that, because I think that term, I started talking earlier about the term social media, can be a little bit frightening. We're talking about, certainly Facebook. We're also talking about things like YouTube, how you can get those. What a great way to share stories. Just take your phone and you can film a little interview with a member. You've got some longtime members. All of us do have some longtime members in our club, or people that have been around and they're not going to be around forever. And you can say, hey, what got you into Rotary, or what's your story? And that might make a fun way to share it. Is just be like a little member moment or something that you could put on a
Nice.
video and then share it to a Facebook page, or share it to a YouTube, uh, a YouTube video. And they're really easy. The neat thing is these are free. And another free thing is if you haven't got I don't know how many of us out there have a Google page on our for our club. And what I
No,
mean by that is not if you search Google and it shows, oh, here's my website. I'm talking about an actual Google page.
yeah.
And I'm going to go a little bit on this tangent. Is I was doing some research a while back, and I think about under 50% of people, under 50% of businesses anyway, have an actual Google page. And of those, only 30% of them do anything with it. So we're talking about the largest, the number one visited website on the planet. And they offer a free page for any business or organization, and you can set it up so easy. And then in there, you've got all this storage for pictures. You could post every time you take a picture, you could post it there, and it
Mhm.
would just go in their whole series of pictures. And if someone happens to be searching a picture of a Rotarian, or a horse with Rotary or something, it doesn't always find it on AI. It sometimes just finds a picture that's already taken, and it can direct them through your Google page, and they may at least stumble through that. And how do you get that, a Google page? Super easy. Is you just open up Google Maps and right click, and it'll say add your business, and then that's it. I even got a video I made on it. It's a minute and a half. You can have a Google page, and you can store all of your photos right there.
Crazy. I think
Have
they
them
give you
accessible to everybody.
don't they give you so much storage on there that you probably couldn't even fill it up. But that's
I
a
don't know. There's no limits that I saw. I mean,
I'll tell you, Todd, that's one of the best tips that I've heard. Really, really good. And frankly speaking, people don't think about our Rotary Club as a business. You know what I mean? And it is. So
It is.
if a business has got a Google page like that, why wouldn't the Rotary Club? Shop hours. We
yeah,
meet Fridays at 12.
yep.
Special events, picture storage. I mean, why in the world would they not do that? That's a genius comment. I'm so glad that we have this oral history and it's being stored on YouTube and Facebook, because we're going to be able to come back to this and say, Todd taught us how to do that. That's
There
awesome.
you go.
That's
So,
really cool.
Michelle, I have a question
I
for
can
you,
share
Michelle.
some yeah, I can share some direct success stories with that. In personally starting 3 clubs in the last year. With
Yep.
first thing we did was open a Gmail account and go into Google and set up our Google page. And from the Google page, you have access to Google Drive, and that's the first place we shared our documents. It's the first place that we shared all of our pictures. I gave the Rotaract Club access to theirs with their passcodes, and first thing they did is they were starting everything up, is they put their bylaws in there. They put everything in there from the start, meeting minutes, you name it. It's all right there and accessible to everyone who has access to the page. And then on the left-hand corner, you can open up a chat, and you can have a direct chat with everyone who is in that space with them on that Google page. You can open up and have a work chat and have it ongoing. There's so many things that are underutilized with Google, and it is as Todd was mentioning, the world's largest search engine. And coming from marketing, there's a couple of different ways that you show up on the website. And it's algorithms and paid advertising and targeted advertising. And they're spiders, all right? So they go out and they actually search for the hits and link everything together to get them into those natural organic pages. So step number one in starting a club after you get certified with Rotary International should be in getting a Gmail account and getting a Google page going for the club.
That's a great tip. I got a question for you, Michelle. When you come into town, I'll ask you both. You visit a town and you want to go maybe out to dinner, and you're looking for a place that serves steaks. How do you find this steakhouse? What is it you do?
Well, you go on Google and you say, "Hey, I'm looking for a big, juicy steak. Where's the best place to go?"
Yeah. Michelle, do you do that? Do you use that?
I do. Well, I go further because I do travel quite a bit as a Rotary Youth Exchange chair. I go and visit those students in those countries and make some family trips out of it. And when I visit those places, you know what I post? Reviews. And I put my pictures and I tag the place. And so when you go into that Google Map option, guess whose pictures you're seeing under that location of me doing my hike around an alpine lake in Austria? So there are things like that that I utilize while I'm traveling on my travels through Google specifically and Google Maps. I post my reviews. So yes, I use it to search myself, but then I myself am a personal contributor by
So yeah, I
posting
do
those
the
reviews.
contributing as well. I love it. You know what people do? They pick up their phone and they say, service club near me or Rotary Club near me. I've done it myself when I'm traveling. You know what? I want to see if there's a Rotary Club in town so I can maybe catch a lunch or breakfast with them if they're around. And I say, Rotary Club near me. And it pulls up. People do that. Such and such near me is, from what I understand, is the top way that people search things. I read last year, I read that there was a 200% increase in the use of that term, such and such near me. 200% from the year prior. I don't know what it is now, but if you put your Rotary club on there and someone happens to be in the area, it'll pull up. And if you do it, anyone could try it. If anyone's listening right now, you could try it on your phone and you could say Rotary Club near me. And if your club doesn't show up, yes, you're probably going to have your website. I'm talking about your Google page that shows directions and reviews. And then you have your members give reviews and it has your phone number to connect with you. That is powerful stuff. And the cost, one of the things we love here that we do is we love the cost being free because
$3.99. I'll
yeah,
tell you,
free,
I
free
just did
90.
what you told me to do, Todd. And this is embarrassing, but I'm gonna lay it all out there. So I put Rotary Club near me.
Yes.
And the first Rotary Club to pop, first of all, it directs them to a soccer complex. But the first Rotary Club that pops up is 70, 80 miles away. Yeah, at least. That is pretty, that's pretty embarrassing. That's a really good nugget that you threw out there about making sure that you create that page.
The other
That's
magic
a lot
is
of people.
if you put service clubs near me,
Hmm.
I can guarantee you that other service clubs probably aren't popping up any better. And that means that, Michelle, you can back me up on this from a marketing person. If your competitors, if you will, I hate to use that term, but if others that are in your same field are not doing it, and you start doing it, then who's going to be the one to get the most response?
Correct.
But if
Well,
nobody's doing it, well, then nobody's doing it.
Yeah. So I did a search near mine and I was mentioning I just set up our Google pages and all of that. So guess who are the first ones that shows up?
Yeah.
My home clubs, Rotary Club of Lake Mary was the first one. And then we do have some competitors close by with the Seminole County Sunset and Rotary Club of Sanford. So they've got their Google pages going. I'm proud of them.
that's awesome. You can come up and help me do mine so we don't send people 74 miles away.
I know. I think it's great. Well, this has been a good visit. I think we're running a little short on time. I was wondering if what your thoughts were. Maybe we carry this on next week a little bit more. I get a lot of people talking about social media, and I'd love to talk a little bit and share ideas that we might have on Facebook ads. Have any of you ran those?
I have.
I have a partner named Todd Shepard who has introduced me to it, and actually, that's a neat story. We should save that for next week. That's a neat story about what you did.
I
Um,
want to share that next week, and maybe we can share some data. Running Facebook ads is, well, we'll get into it and maybe even give a little tutorial if anyone's interested on how they can leverage Facebook ads for little or nothing. There is a little bit of a cost. The cost, and when I say a little bit, I'm talking about minuscule compared to the results that you can get if you target it. So, let's do that. Does that sound good? Next week?
I think that's fine. Hey, can I invite somebody?
You can invite.
I'm gonna bring somebody along with me.
I think that sounds good. I understand that you've had some uh, different characters interested in joining us.
Well, I mean, they'd have to be different to want to be on a call with us. So, so it's no problem at all. No, yeah, we've had some good conversations of people wanting to just have a chat, which is great. I mean, it's not an hour long meeting. It's not a this. We're just gonna, I mean, I just learned so much from you today. Michelle, not so much because she always tells me what I need to know. It's just like, you're doing this wrong, do this. So on a daily basis. So I learned so much from you guys, and it was a great chat.
Well, good.
Love
Well,
it.
remember, those that are listening, if you want to post questions now or even on the recording, we'll pick those up and we'd
Yep.
love to answer questions. Michelle, was there any on there that you see that are any immediate
I
questions?
didn't see any. I saw a couple of likes in there, so I like seeing our hearts going up. So they're liking the content. So that's good stuff, but no
Yep.
comments.
Well, let's spread the word, and if you've got any questions, we're open to this. This is an open forum. This is unplugged, so we're not looking at talking about one specific thing. We're looking about ways that we can boost membership, grow your Rotary Club, and help engage your current members, so we can keep our Rotary members engaged and active, so we don't lose them as well. So that's
Streamlining
what we're
those
here.
processes.
Come to
And
the
like
Membercast next week. We're gonna have a good time.
Membercast next Tuesday. Be here. It's Tuesday. It'll be the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, right? Uh,
Yes.
5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here. Same bat time, same channel. We'll have you here and we'll look forward to it. The Membercast, Membership Unplugged with Michelle, Patrick, and me, Todd. We'll see you next week.
Hi guys, see you next week.
Bye.